Donald Trump has decided that he really wants to kiss up to the religious right, and he did it this week by complaining to a crowd during a rally that President Biden is somehow just not religious enough for him. You know, Donald Trump, obviously, the first thing you think of when you hear the name Donald Trump is devout Christian, right? I mean, everybody knows that Donald Trump's in church, every Sunday morning, bright and early, front row center, singing those hymns as loudly as possible, right? That's exactly what you think of when you think of Donald Trump. Super religious guy, best friends with Jesus, all of that. Well, that's what Trump wants people to think, even though I'm willing to bet the guy has never just voluntarily gone to church in his life. He's not a religious guy, and guess what? That's totally fine. I have no problem with that. But here's what Donald Trump told the crowd. Of course, we're for parental rights, but the Democrats aren't. They're fascists. They want people to take your children and do things with your children that are not even speakable. Americans of faith are not a threat to our country. Americans of faith are the soul of our country, and they have been from the beginning. I will defend religion, and I will defend in God we trust. Now, before I continue, let me reread this part. They want to take your children and do things with your children that are not even speakable. Americans of faith are not a threat to our country. They're a threat to our kids? Have you literally never read the news? I mean, have you seen what's happened with the Baptist Convention? With other religious schools across the country, the Catholic Church? I mean, you want to talk about threat to kids? You need to be looking at religion across the United States. That's one of the biggest threat to our children's outside of being shot. Jesus. And he continues. And you know that very important phrase is under siege, talking about in God we trust. You do know that, right? We will defend it 100%. When Joe Biden lit the national Christmas tree earlier this month, he completely failed to even mention the birth of Jesus Christ, which is hard to do if you celebrated Christmas, right? He didn't mention Jesus Christ in his remarks. Not for 3 years he hasn't mentioned that and barely mentioned God. When I was president, we brought back the beautiful phrase, Merry Christmas. And I said I'd do that. I'm very proud of that, actually, because I said at the beginning, it was really under siege. And when I lit the Christmas tree each year, it was my honor to publicly celebrate the true source of Christmas joy, which is Jesus Christ. As president, I kept every promise I made to Christians and more, and I think everybody in this room understands that very well. It's pretty well documented. Yeah, I remember those times. I mean, I had a lot of family members that were actually thrown in federal prison for telling people Merry Christmas, and Trump made it legal. So all my family members got out of jail. Oh wait, that didn't happen because that's insane. How can people listen to this? I genuinely wish I understood the psychology of these people a little bit better, because how can you listen to a man literally tell you that saying that it was illegal to say Merry Christmas, but he made it legal? It was never illegal. President Obama told people Merry Christmas each year, every year. Biden has. What the hell? And these people believe it. I mean, Fox News for decades, this time of year, every year, is talking the war on Christmas. You can't say Merry Christmas. You can say Merry Christmas. I have people say, hey, Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, whatever. And I live down here in the South. I don't care. If somebody says Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas, I don't get offended. Somebody says Merry Christmas instead of Happy Holidays, I don't care. Honestly, I just wish, you don't have to say anything to me. If I'm checking out of the grocery store, you don't even have to have a conversation with me. I'm not going to be offended, okay? I'm quite introverted. But this is crazy talk from a crazy man, and the crazy people in the audience totally believe it. They're totally fine with it. And they think that somehow Donald Trump, the most amoral person we've ever had as president of the United States, is somehow more religious than the devout Catholic President Biden. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.